Um, Jackie B will be on the air October 23rd. The topic's going to be 80s and 90s party that she's trying to promote in Atlanta. So let's give a shout out to Mrs. Jackie B for being excited for being on the show. Also, too, I am going to start the Financial Fitness Series on October 24th, 2017. If you would like to be a guest on this show in particular, let me know. If you have something to add to this financial subject that we're dealing with in this community, in this country as a whole, as a state or whatever, or in your individual states, let me know. Your countries, let me know. This is an awesome program that I stumbled upon when I was trying to figure out a budget for my, journey of being an artist, studio time, tours, promoting CDs, selling albums, selling tickets. I didn't know nothing about this stuff. So it gave me a way and a template to surround my budget plan with a financial budget plan. And I didn't know about it until somebody came to my job and told me about it. I'm glad they did. So be looking out for that on October 24th of 2017. The first show will be about Define, Learn, and Do. Okay? And if you guys have been listening since the beginning of March, you've already heard that show, Define, Learn, and Do. If I have a way to put it back on the playlist, I will. Or I could just go over it on the 24th. So be looking out for that. But today, I wanted to touch base on whether a rich parent is better than the poor parent. Do kids get more out of a rich parent to live a successful life, or do they get more out of a poor parent and having a successful life? Me personally, I grew up in poverty, so I got my best ethics because I had to struggle to survive, and it taught me how to deal with tough times. I see a lot of kids today, whether it doesn't even matter who's rich or poor. I think the difference between my generation and the generations that we are seeing now is that kids don't know much about struggling or working or using their own brain. And I did look up a couple articles on this, but it all starts in the home. And I've said that on numerous of shows, if not every one of them, that true leadership, true successful lives, or successful children and citizens of this country, it starts at home and what they're being taught in the home, or whatever system that they're placed in. Because a lot of people don't grow up with their natural parents. Some of them are adopted. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are born in the system, prison system, things like that. So they're not being taught the same things. So there's a difference between poverty-stricken, parents and parents that are rich. And there is two different types of techniques that they are taught with. So I did some researching and I looked up some things. Who's a better parent, rich or poor? So I'm just going to read off a couple of articles that I found. Let me know in the chat room how you feel about that. If you're a parent or ready to start a family, do you think you should be rich or poor doing it? I did it poor. I ended up falling into the financial fitness program and was able to implement that. But it was so easy. I could teach it to my kids. And now we have a better perspective of work ethic and the value of a dollar. Because rich or poor, some kids don't know about the value of the dollar because the parents are doing everything for them. Instead of showing them how to fish for the rest of their life, they're only teaching them how to fish for a day. So the first thing I looked up in terms of which one is the better parent, the first one that came up was, what do rich parents do that poor parents don't? So let's click on that and see what that says. School is in, and yes, we are coming from Penelope Trunk. at education.penelopetrunk.com, I think it is. And they said, what do rich parents do that poor parents don't? Let me blow it up because it came up a little small on the tablet here. I think his name is Yafet. Went on a trip with Melissa. It was so exciting to watch them leave because they always do amazing things while they're together. But I couldn't help thinking while I was dropping them off at the airport that my kids are growing up like rich kids. It's the last thing I expected after moving to rural Wisconsin. The reason they are growing up like rich kids is not so much the money. He could have gone on a driving trip with Melissa and had the same advantages. But because of my mentality that I trust him to be smart and interesting and to make a life from that, and I don't trust school. I think a lot about the difference between how rich people think about education and how everyone else thinks about education. So I was interested to read that rich people worry less about their kids getting into dangerous situations online than poor parents do. I am convinced that in general, parents who have self-confidence in their own ability to navigate the world display confidence in their children's abilities as well. This seems like a good thing. Rich parents raise kids to think that being themselves is a great thing to be. It also seems like a bad thing to assume your child is incapable. Jared Diamond's book, The World Until Yesterday, shows that throughout human history, families have given kids much more freedom and much more responsibility. Jennifer Sr. has collected wide-ranging data to show that the more we infantilize teens, the more depressed they get. And it stunts their moral and emotional development. It makes sense to me that people who feel secure financially would feel secure in the world and would raise their kids to feel secure in the world. So what can you do? Recognize that how many rich people raise their kids is insightful. Number 1, parents don't focus on well-roundedness. We're not in the 16th century Italy. Today, well-roundedness is too easily accessible to everyone. Today, specialization is what rich people want for their kids. Number 2, rich parents don't run their lives around school calendars. Rich families go to schools that allow families to put their own schedules first. Certainly, it's for selfish reasons, like film schedules or family vacation. But the message this sends to kids is that family time is important for rich kids and secondary for kids who live their lives around grammar school calendar. Number 3, rich parents don't do academics in the summer. No one ever succeeded in life by doing what everyone else does. Rich people realize that doing more coursework that everyone else is doing not going to lead to success. Rich kids experience unusual, non-academic settings in the summer. Number 4, rich parents don't focus on homework. It's become clear that rich kids will do fine in life if they don't do homework, and poor kids won't. This is consistent with research that poor kids need to be taught to read in school and rich kids don't. So rich people don't need to obsess about homework because rich kids will do fine in life without doing well in school. What I'm trying to tell you is that it's a poverty mentality to send your kids to school. The values of school are for people who start at a disadvantage. The U.S. school system is about making things equal for everyone. If you start out on the better side of equal, why would you put your kids in a system designed to reduce their advantage? When you block your kids from working and playing online, it's out of fear. Fear that they will not learn enough, or that they will be corrupted, or that they will fall behind. Parents should have much bigger fears about telling their kid to do school instead of something else, even video games. In school, the danger is that your kid will become the same as all the others. That seems much worse to me. And don't tell yourself that it costs a lot of money to raise your kid like a rich kid. It just means having a lot of faith in your kid. Yafet and Melissa didn't actually need a lot of money for their trip. They spent the majority of their time hanging out together in Melissa's apartment, and they both liked that just fine. Okay, hold up. So, let's do some highlights on this because, okay, which one should I go first? Rich people worry about less about their kids getting into dangerous situations online than poor parents do. Yeah, that's interesting. Rich parents raise kids to think that being themselves is a great thing to be. Yeah. Um, Specialization is what rich people want for their kids. Let me know in the chat room if some of these sticking out. Rich kids experience unusual non-academic settings in the summer. Poor kids need to be taught to read in school and rich kids don't. Rich kids will do fine in life without doing well in school. But my thing is this, look how well we didn't do in life because we weren't properly educated. Yeah, Melissa's spending time with Yafet. Um, they packed up and just went probably across the street from each other, down the street. It doesn't say anything about that. But when I looked at this, I mean, if the mom and dad don't know how to take care of their finances, if they don't know how to go to school, if they dropped out or they never learned how to read, how are they able to teach their own children anything? And it is some people out there that got kids that can't read. You know, you and I know them. It's somebody in your life that can't read. And you got the necessary tools to educate them. Because I believe anybody can be an educator. It doesn't you don't necessarily have to have a certificate in education to be an educator. And I know that because I've been a financial consultant for 2 years with no financial consulting background or a college degree from that. It's just the experiences that I had. So it really does determine what you're working on and what you're learning. Learning is missing in society, rich or poor. Because I'm finding out that the rich are little illiterate on certain things as well as poor people. So is it just based on title, or this is just based on what it is what it is? And I think when this perspective, this was based on what do rich parents do that poor parents don't, is pretty much everybody is accountable for the things that they acquire in their brain. Like whatever you was taught, that's what you pretty much gonna do, and that's gonna become normal to you. So get good grades, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, go to college, get a good career, and pay for it the rest of your life because that's what you're supposed to do, right? But then you get to learning life and doing different things, and you find out that's not the only way. And there's something you want to do, but you got so many people telling you how to be. And I don't know who I'm saying this to. You got so many people dipping in your parent life. Whether you're poor or rich, trying to tell you how to raise your kids. You raise your kids in the best of your ability that the Lord has given you to do so. And only you can do the parenting. Only you could be the best you. So only you could be that best parent for that particular child. Rich or poor. I don't think rich and poor matters. But let me know in the comment chat room, what you think on that article. So I'm going to go back. That was the first one. The second one I looked into